Hello. Before we start today's episode, if you would like a condensed version of what I'm talking about in this podcast, go ahead and subscribe to The Perfectionist Guide. You can read the entire thing in 3 minutes or less. To access this, go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/newsletter. Are you a bit of a perfectionist, type A, hyper performer? Then you know that having the audacity to see an ideal and bring it into reality while breaking generational habits of hustle can be tough, but it doesn't have to be. If you are ready to burn bright instead of burning out, to lead without losing yourself, and to enjoy the life you have worked so hard to create, then keep listening. I'm your host, America's leader on rewiring perfectionism, CLG, and this is Perfectionism Rewired, the podcast. Welcome to Perfectionism Rewired, episode number 44. Today, I'm talking about the short-term actions that we all take every day that are going against the results that we actually want in our lives. I firmly believe no human being intentionally tries to make their lives worse, right? Like, I don't think to myself, you know what? I just really want to stress myself out. Yet, I end up doing things that add to my stress load. Let's say, for example, you want to reduce your level of anxiety and you want to be more relaxed, but you are keeping the alerts on your phone and your Apple Watch because you think that you can't be relaxed unless you are responding to people right away, ASAP. But constantly being on alert and the anticipation and interruption is actually pouring gasoline in your subconscious on the fire of your anxiety. See, our brains, they be sneaky. And very subtle in the ways that they sort of trick us into doing things that get us farther away from where we want to be. This is why we procrastinate on doing things today and we're like, we can do it tomorrow. Totally do it tomorrow. I'm just going to do everything on Friday. Why? Because we get a hit of dopamine every time we delay. This is why we avoid conversations that we think will for sure be uncomfortable, only to have things blow up in our face later. It's why we avoid making decisions and then we are having the decision made for us. And a lot of times we don't like what the outcome is. By avoiding the short-term discomfort, we are creating enormous discomfort later on in our lives. Choose the discomfort that's going to get you closer to where you want to go because you're going to experience it either way. The difference is that when you are going for growth, you experience more of it at one time and upfront. But you have these luscious results later. Now, when we're talking about avoiding discomfort, I'm not just talking about having Susie cakes delivered or staying up late to watch another episode. What comes up with my overachievers is that we do things that appear on the outside to be, I'm doing air quotes with my hands right now, beneficial, like spending 3 hours perfecting and micro editing a podcast episode, or researching what to do on your family's vacation to Hawaii this summer for hours upon hours upon hours, or answering every comment anyone on planet internet ever writes on your Medium articles, or clearing your inbox at the end of the day. We do these things out of habit, and many of them served us well in the past, just like diapers served a purpose for us when we were babies. Like pulling all-nighters in college helped me pass a lot of my classes, but doing that now as an adult, my mind, body, day is wrecked for like 3 days after. It goes back to that old-timey quote, what got you here won't get you there. When we let those punch-drunk toddlers inside our heads run wild, there's always a reason to pick things up later. We can always start again tomorrow. We can totally do it later. I'm really busy and I'm tired because I've been judging myself and I've been spinning over what I should do and criticizing myself and all of the decisions that I made in the past. You know what? I want to go on Instagram and like see how those people from the past are doing so I can feel worse about myself. And, just being like, well, we've already procrastinated this long, so we might as well. We don't really need to do it. Let's just continue judging ourselves, comparing and despairing, and like thinking this is totally the right choice. It's actually not so great for you, because we do get the short-term gratification of not making a decision and not being wrong. But what ends up happening is that we waste more time, and that ends up creating more stress and anxiety and discomfort for you. And then the cycle continues. I am sharing with you some simple tools you can use to flip it and reverse it, as my girl Missy says. So everything in your life begins to be aligned with what you want to be creating for yourself long term. When our brains are left alone and they're wilding out, they're not designed for us to have a sustainable and enjoyable and fulfilling life. Like, our brain works against us when we are pursuing our dreams and goals. We have a brain that is primed for immediate pleasure in a world where immediate pleasure is literally at the touch of our fingertips. It is one button away. I jokingly call cell phones and all of the connected devices dopamine drip machines, stairway to serotonin. I am not against technology at all. I am an advocate for clear thinking. Just like if you eat cookies all the time, you don't really give your brain a choice, because cookies create pleasure in our brain. That sugar rush gives our brain a rush of dopamine. I'm not saying, hey, never eat sugar or live a life without cookies, because honestly, is that even living? But like, I don't eat cookies when my brain is choosing to be parked at the procrastination station. Cookies, like our cell phones, falling down the Pinterest hole or being seduced by the scroll, is a quick, immediate, and easily accessible pleasure creator. When we try and solve this issue by not having cookies in the house, our brain, these toddlers, they will always find something else to get that immediate pleasure from, unless we know what we're working with. Our brains, just like our hands, are meant to be tools. What I am doing with this in every episode is I am putting you back in the driver's seat. Think about putting a toddler to bed. Like, if you ever put a toddler to bed, they will always find a reason why they don't need to go to bed right now. Even if you go through the 13-step checklist and brush our teeth, and we already gave you some water, you already went potty, the nightlight is on, we sang the special song, I walk backwards just the way you like it, the door is propped up in an ideal 30-degree angle, the humidifier is on, those toddlers will always find a way to tell you, I don't really think I can go to bed. And it becomes this whole song and dance. Like, our brains are the exact same way. Our brains are highly skilled in this area, literally tens of thousands of years of being pruned and trained. The reason why all of us who are listening to this are alive today is because our ancestors were super skilled in this area. How our brains have evolved to keep us alive is because back in the day of yesteryear, we needed to seek the pleasure of warmth from a fire, the pleasure of sex so we could procreate, the pleasure of food and nourishment, the pleasure of company and friendship so we had other people to look out for the wolves who were going to eat our baby. Like, all of these elements kept us alive because our brains are wired to seek these pleasures at a time when we really needed the internal incentive to GTFO out of the cave. Now we don't have to do so much to get these pleasures. In order to be comfortable and in order to live, we literally can get them delivered to us in our caves, aka our house. Those exact instincts that served us are now costing us our sanity, our soundness, our dreams, our prosperity, our relationships, our social life goals, health. Like, bottom line, the impact that we want to have. But it's not you, it's your brain. And that's what I'm here to help you with. Let's start with awareness so you know what you're working with. Your brain is avoiding discomfort because of the perceived pain. I mentioned this in last week's episode. Back in the day, pain meant life or death. We know this logically, but our conscious mind thinks that the failure, the rejection, the exposure won't kill us. But we avoid them anyway because our subconscious brain, the brain that has 90% reigning power, isn't on board yet. Back in the day, rejection from the tribe meant being eaten alive by the bears. Or if you were exposed and judged, you would be killed literally. But we still avoid them today because in our deep in our brain, in the subconscious, is still this belief. And as long as we continue to not teach our brains that we can survive failure and rejection and exposure, it's going to continue directing us to avoid it, which is why we're just going to pop onto Instagram real quick, or you delay asking your boss for a raise, or you're going to delay self-publishing your first book, or you're going to delay applying to work with me as your life and mindset coach. Obviously, we listen to our brains because we were never really taught how to question it. You don't know yet how to question all of these thoughts that come up. So you avoid all the potential uncomfortable, play small, stay safe, create this line of a comfort zone, and you stay in it because you are believing the lie that there is legit danger in stepping out. As long as you're choosing to listen to the fear, you never sashay away out of your comfort zone, and you don't experience rejection, and you don't experience failure, and you don't experience exposure. Getting outside of your comfort zone, getting rejected, failing, exposure, getting it wrong is the fastest and the most effective way to getting it right. When we avoid all of these things, we lose the opportunity to teach our drunk toddler brains that not only can we survive, but we can thrive. This is why you find yourself working on long-term goals, and in reality, you are taking short-term actions that are directly in conflict of where you want to be. You're skipping class when your goal is to graduate with honors. You're eating peanut butter cups alone in your car when you want to get your waist snatched for summer. P.S. These are all things that I've done. This is how our brains are designed. Nothing has gone wrong. And even better, yes, it's 100% changeable. When we listen to our brains and avoid doing the uncomfortable thing or the thing that maybe we're a little bit unsure about, and we seek comfort and the familiar, we are blocking everything that we want. Everything. It is so easy to delay. We can always do better. We can always research more. There is always a million more ways that we can perfect it and we can be creative. We can always give something more time. Sometimes what presents itself as I'm so tired or this is really boring is just this fear playing dress up in sweatpants and slippers. What you're wondering right now is you're like, okay, yeah, CLG. So how can you overcome the short-term dream snatchers to focus and achieve what you want in the long term? Let's start with what not to do. 1, don't beat yourself up for the past, what you've done or not done up until this point. 2, don't think I should do this, I need to, I have to. That never leads to positive outcomes. All that does is it brings stressy and pressure and burnout. Don't set yourself up for disaster either with all or nothing thinking, like giving yourself one day to do everything. Worst idea ever. As fast as you build it is as fast as it will crumble. Think about your approach, something that you've been working on for a long time, or perhaps something that you've started and stopped. When you think about it, how do you feel? Is there some not good vibes coming up? Like, do you feel a little awful? If you're not getting good vibes from it, this is why your brain is so much more comfortable in just avoiding it. Notice if you're super attached to being right in the method. I see this with my one-on-one clients sometimes where they're like, I know what I'm doing. And when you say that, you've missed, and sometimes they don't say it, but I can tell by the way that they are unwilling or unreceptive to the coaching. When you say that, or when you think that, you've missed the opportunity to figure out what will work better for you. When you are thinking to yourself, I know what I'm doing, it's truth booth time. It's not working if you're not getting the results that you want. When you let go of being right and how you think you should do something, or no, this is the best way because I've done all this fucking research and this is what my friend says, like you open yourself up to way more potential solutions and ways to successfully get to your destination a heck of a lot faster. You want to direct your brains on purpose, and you want to think about the long-term goal and why you're choosing it and how there will be a lot of uncomfortable up front. Your brain will naturally want to focus on the short-term options, but by getting clear and clean on our reasons ahead of time, then when your brain's just like, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to tap out, we make sure that doesn't happen. With my one-on-one coaching clients, we don't hope that this doesn't happen. We plan for it happening and we cover everything ahead of time that is going to stop you, all of the possible excuses or reasons or roadblocks. We give them their airtime up front. It's way more powerful to do it ahead of time than pretend it's just not gonna happen or I'm just gonna fucking willpower my way through it. When you do this, when they come up, instead of believing these drunk toddler brain excuses about, oh, I can't go to bed because I need to have my ice chips, you see them as a step towards progress. We don't believe them. I help my clients create strategies and solutions for all of them that come up, having zero fear or worry because we know what we'll do in response to all of the resistance that will come up. I give you your game plan ahead of time so that way when new obstacles pop up, it's not a problem. Once you understand how to create solutions from the problem, it's a repeatable process and you can do it again and again and again. When we do things expecting that we're not going to have any resistance and it's not going to be uncomfortable, we will fail every time. We will quit because at some point our drunk toddler will throw a tantrum saying, this is too hard. This is too much change. We've already come so far. This is hard. Let's go play Animal Crossing. Let's go for an online shopping spree right now. We know that other things feel better in the short term. So we don't expect to feel great all the time. I could go on for days and days and days about all of the tools that I equip my one-on-one coaching clients with. P.S. If you are curious and interested in that, book your consult with me while you can. Link is in the show notes. But one last one that I will leave you with is to create a reward and a consequence that will impact you immediately instead of not sitting with the consequence that is going to show up far, far in the future. For example, I have a new rug that arrived today, and I really, really want to set it up. But first, get this all locked and loaded in before I get to open it. And if I don't get this done by a certain time, guess what? That rug is going to sit in the box until end of day tomorrow. To recap, be aware of what you're choosing to do and see if it aligns with what you want long term. And I don't think letting your brains sit and rot and scroll through social media is what anyone wants long term. 2, think about why you want what you want in your life. Like dream. And dreaming could even just be like, I just want to be less anxious. I want to be able to relax. I want to not yell at my kids, or I want to be a published author. Then come from an empowered place, not willpower, and plan for the resistance ahead of time. So that way, when it shows up, make it mean that you are right on track. Have fuck tons of fun. Listen to last week's episode, Finding the Fun, for more on that. And lastly, create a short-term reward and consequence. These are really simple steps to rewire your brain and a way to focus on aligning your daily choices with what you want long-term. Don't forget that you are not your brain. They are not in the driving seat. They are not in control. We expect to be able to move our arms and legs on demand. And in my one-on-one coaching practice, I teach you how to get your brain working for you on demand too. Imagine what could change in your life? What would change if you felt that you are in control? If you didn't spend any time in doubt or indecision or feeling resentful or being anxious and super stressed? What if you were able to consistently get shit done without the suckiness and without doing a million things? How much time would you save? What goals would you achieve? If you're nodding your head yes, listen closely because I might have the solution you've been searching for. My Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator, a 6-week, highly individualized one-on-one coaching experience designed exclusively for perfectionists like you. Your perfectionism is actually your greatest asset, and leveraging it can be hard work or take years of guesswork. That's why in Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator, I give you my key frameworks to taking charge of your Ferrari drive, proven to work even for the most type A, high-strung, stubborn perfectionists. In the first 30 days, you will cut your burnout in half. half. Increase your professional fulfillment by at least 150%, and your self-compassion will go up at least 250%. And that is just your first 30 days. So if you want to save yourself years of trial and error, go to CourtneyLoveGavin.com/accelerator today. Or if you want to take the easy way, just click the link in the show notes to check out the Perfectionism Rewired Accelerator.